Hi, friends, and Happy New Year to you. Today's reflection is for January 5. It is the Tuesday after Epiphany, and it's the memorial of St. John Neumann. This saint is an American saint, but he was born in Bohemia. He came to America, became a priest. He joined the Redemptorists, who are known for working with the poor and the most abandoned. He eventually became Bishop of Philadelphia in 1852, and he was the first to organize a diocesan Catholic school system. He also was the founder of many churches, hospitals, and orphanages. He was committed to working with the sick and the poor. In the homily at Neumann's canonization, Pope Paul VI summarized his life this way. He was close to the sick. He loved to be with the poor. He was a friend of sinners. And now he is the glory of all emigrants. He's invoked as the patron saint of sick children and immigrants. Possibly this saint responded to Jesus' words from today's gospel. Give them some food yourselves. This is from the story of the miracle of the loaves and fishes. It's a story that appears in all four gospels, and we hear it several times throughout the year. So it might be easy or simple enough to just skim right over it. But I think this has a lot to tell us about who Jesus is and what it means for us as followers of Jesus. Let's listen with 2021 ears. This is from the Gospel of Mark. When Jesus saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. By now it was already late, and his disciples approached him and said, "This is a deserted place, and it is already very late. Dismiss them so they can go to the surrounding farms and villages and buy themselves something to eat." He said to them in reply, "Give them some food yourselves." But they said to him, "Are we to buy 200 days' worth of food and give it to them?" He asked them, "How many loaves do you have? Go and see." And when they found out, they said, 5 loaves and 2 fish. So he gave orders to have them sit down in groups on the green grass. The people who took their places in rows by hundreds and by 50s. Then, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaves, and gave them to his disciples to set before the people. He also divided the 2 fish among them all. They all ate and were satisfied. And they picked up 12 wicker baskets full of fragments of what was left of the fish. Those who ate the loaves were 5,000 men. When I read these stories from Scripture, I often try to put myself into the story. Today, I would definitely be one of those disciples whom I try to picture myself as one of them often, because they're the ones who are always trying to learn more about Jesus. Well, the hour's getting late, and the disciples see all these people who've been listening to Jesus teach, and they ask Jesus to send them away so they can get some food for themselves. Now, I can understand that. Feeding 5,000 people would be very overwhelming to me. Today, 2021, I feel overwhelmed when I see those long lines of people at the food banks across the country. I feel overwhelmed when I think about the millions of people in our world who are threatened by illness. I feel overwhelmed by the struggle for racial equality. I feel overwhelmed by the divisions in our culture. Jesus sees all of this too, just like he saw all those people who were following him, were hungry for his words, and he felt compassion for them. They were tired and hungry, and he moved to help them. But he didn't just make food appear. He tells his disciples, "Give them some food yourselves." It's a reminder to me that we humans were always part of this story. As we face the challenges of the pandemic, of hunger in our country, of world famine, of calls for racial equality, calls for justice and peace, Jesus invites us, he maybe even challenges us, to feed them ourselves. But I can imagine what those disciples were thinking, but I don't have enough to give them. I don't have enough resources, only 5 loaves and 2 fish. How far is that going to go? I don't have enough courage. I don't have enough smarts. I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough. Well, you fill in that part. How many times do we think that we don't have enough? Then he tells them to organize the people in groups of 50 or 100. Now, can you imagine organizing 5,000 people into groups of 50 or 100? I'm sure they were thinking, why am I doing this? And I wondered what those 5,000 people said to them. Hey, I don't want to sit over there with them. I don't want to sit here. Can you imagine that? But eventually you have all the people in the groups, and then you have to feed them with what little you have. So scary, right? But they believed. They believed in Jesus, and they had faith. Maybe it was their inspiration. Maybe it was their own sacrifice. Maybe it was their faith or their willingness to just try that led everyone to being fed. The story says that the people were put in groups and the blessing was said and that everyone was satisfied. Now I'm thinking that a lot of those people traveling might have had a little snack in their bag. And maybe it was the inspiration of the disciples sharing what they had that led to everyone sharing, that led to everyone being satisfied. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't the end of the story. There's more. After everyone was fed, there was 12 baskets left over. Those disciples did have enough. They had enough faith to listen to Jesus. They had enough faith to share what they had. And then there was enough left over afterwards. This goes to show us that everything is possible with Jesus. And in fact, there's even abundance. But it does require our human cooperation. All we have to do is bring our small bit. In 2021, we could have a loaves and fishes experience. Could happen. We each do our small part, our little bit. We wear a mask. We distance from each other. We share what we have. We do what we can. We keep the faith. What may not seem like much individually, when added together, will be enough for all of us with leftovers. That's what I have for today. And until I see you again, I wish you peace.